Residents of Turkana County have suffered severe damage following heavy rains that have seen Kawalase seasonal river and River Turkwel burst their banks. Scores of families have been displaced and dozens of livestock swept away in the flash floods. And in Teso North, more than 1,000 families have been rendered homeless after their houses were submerged in water. The weatherman has urged Kenyans to brace themselves for heavy rains that are expected to hit most parts of the country for the next 5 days. Rose Wangui is still on that story.
Heavy rains have been experienced in various parts of the country for the last 8 days. This has led to loss of lives and destruction. Operations in Lodwar town, Turkana County, ground to a halt after flash floods hit the area, destroying property worth hundreds of thousands. Flood waters swept through the Lodwar livestock, fish and cereals markets, leaving property damaged. Dozens of livestock were killed during the heavy downpour. For this man, the sight of losing his only source of livelihood was too much to bear. Business premises were marooned, leaving many of the people stranded.
Serikali ya county tunalaumu kwa sababu hao wamekosa kuweka magabion. Kuna gabion ambazo zinatakuwa ziwekwa ku divert hii maji. Kama wangekuwa wamedivert hii maji haingefika mahali hapa saa hizi.
Kumbwa na disaster ya ajabu ambayo hata hatujawahi ona ulimwenguni. Wanyama wetu wamebebwa na mito, mali zetu zimebebwa na mito.
Transport was also disrupted in parts of Turkana after several rivers burst their banks, halting transport on the Kenya-South Sudan highway. Travelers remained stranded while motorists had to park their vehicles by the roadside as water cut through the road. Several schools in the region were also affected. Scores of families have been displaced after their houses were submerged in water. Elsewhere, hundreds of families have been displaced in Malaba and Kawalase in Teso North, and acres of crops destroyed following heavy rains in Busia County. This is after River Malaba and Angolol burst their banks, sweeping through farms and homes. Most villages have been cut off by fast-rising waters that made the roads impassable. Residents living along the banks of River Malakisi and Malaba have been advised to move to higher grounds.
Ndio nilikuwa nimebeba hii mattress, natoka kwa nyumba na randaranda tu, hakuna mahali naenda kulala saa hii.
Wakiweza kutuwekea dikes kuanzia Malaba kule upande huu wa Malakisi na upande wa Komiriai, wataweza kuzuia maji haya kukuja katika manyumba ya wananchi wa Kiriamasi.
In Kwale County, flood waters have rendered most roads impassable. Families have been rendered homeless after their houses were submerged in water. The most affected areas are Vanga, Vumbu, Miembeni and some parts of Matuga. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Omalwa now wants county governments to set up emergency funds to deal with disasters.
So lazima tujue hata mwaka ujao mvua itakosekana ama itakuja kwa wingi, tuweke mipango hii pamoja, serikali za county, serikali kuu na vile partners wetu kama hawa wa EU.
In Mwingi, motorists have been warned against crossing swollen rivers after heavy rains. Several roads were destroyed by the floods, making the area inaccessible. Kankinga Bridge along the Thika Garissa Highway was partially damaged by flash floods. However, the Kenya National Highway Authority has started repairing sections of the bridge. The Meteorological Department has asked Kenyans to brace themselves for heavy rains expected to hit most parts of the country. People have been urged to be cautious of lightning, landslides and outbreak of diseases due to the rains. Rose Wangui, NTV.